Jagati Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jagati Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vajranandana Yashodanandana Vajranandana Yamuna Yamuna Tira Jaya Radha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktaveda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Rasi Hari Radha Rasi Hari Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Hare Krishna. So we'll offer prayers to the Guru Parampara before starting the class. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Sajivam Sadhvetam Savadhutam Parijanan Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Green Patamam Mande Shri Guru Dintaranam. Hare Krishna. So we are discussing from the 26th chapter of the third canto. So in the last class, Nitajan Prabhuji discussed about from the 25th chapter, right? 25th chapter. So in this part of the Bhagavatam, we see that there is a discussion happening between Devhuti and Kapila Dev. So before that, previous to that, in the previous chapter, 25th chapter, there is a dialogue between Saunak Rishi and Suta Goswami in the auspicious place of Naimisharanya. And Saunak Rishi, who is heading so many sages there, he is asking for the activities of Lord Kapila. So Lord Kapila is a son of Kardamuni and Mother Devhuti. So Lord Kapila who is Lord Kapila? He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself appearing. So we know the whole backdrop. We have discussed this previously. How when Kardam Muni he wanted to go for pilgrim, and Devhuti she asked for a son, and then Kardam Muni said that don't worry, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself will appear as your son. So here they these sages headed by Sonak Rishi, they are curious about who is this Lord Kapila, and they wanted to know about his activities and what is the dialogue happening between them. So then Sud Goswami told them that how this is a same dialogue was asked, same question was asked by Maitreya Muni, Vedura from Maitreya. So Maitreya gave the same answer. So then the story goes like that. So after Kardam Muni left, Lord Kapila stayed at Bindu Sarovar with his mother Devhuti. And then Devhuti remembered that Brahma's word, that Brahmaji said that the Supreme Lord Himself will appear as your son. So she remembers, and now she is taking advantage of that. That I will ask some good questions. So then in the 25th chapter, she asked that please dispel my illusion of aham mameti due to my false ego created by your Maya. Your Maya means Lord's Maya. And then in the 25th chapter, in these verses, Lord gives these different aspects of bhakti, especially. So, symptoms of a liberated mind glorify Lord Kapila, glorify bhakti. What are the characteristics and activities of a sadhu? What would be the result of associating with such sadhus? That would be the result, would be we will get prema bhakti. And then practice of jnana and yoga is not complete without bhakti. So, in Bhagavad Gita, we see that first 6 chapters are karma yoga, and then middle 6 chapter are bhakti, and then after that is jnana. But here we see that actually there are so many transcendental dialogues in Bhagavatam. Whenever there are two great personalities speaking, it's like a Bhagavad Gita. So here we see that bhakti is glorified by Kapila Muni first, and then after that, when Devhuti asked three more questions to reply, in reply to these three questions, the Kapil Muni starts speaking, and this is how. So these are three questions Devhuti asked. What kind of bhakti should I perform to easily attain your feet? What kind of bhakti? So he's like now being more specific. And question three is explain the jnana by which one understands the tattvas. Which type of jnana? Jnana, there are so many type of jnana. Which jnana by which I can understand the tattva? And then explain the yoga aimed at the Lord for liberation. So many different types of yoga, but which type of yoga and how many limb does it have that I should perform? So then again, answering to these questions, again Lord Kapila glorified bhakti performed without material desire is the topmost level of bhakti, and then such bhakti quickly destroys the subtle body. Subtle body vanishes. Subtle body is made up of mind, intelligence, and false ego, which has many desires and karma stored in it. But when we perform bhakti without material desire, subtle body vanishes, just like digestive fire consumes food. So this example is given, and then Lord Kapila says characteristics of a devotee in bhav attains by Vedi bhakti and Vedi sadhana bhakti. So then he starts speaking about the jnana part, which is the answer of the third question asked by Mother Devhuti. Explain the jnana by which one understands the tattvas. Okay, so this is the 3.26 fundamental principles of material nature. So we have discussed this already many times, Sankhya Yoga, and we have discussed about 24 elements, right? Uttam Prabhuji had already given class about this, but still we will go through that. Just in spiritual life, it's very nice to do recap as much as possible. So first two shlokas, he glorifies hearing Sankhya, glorific benefits of hearing Sankhya. What is the benefit of hearing Sankhya? Somebody can read loudly. The personality of God and Kapila continued, my dear mother. Now I shall describe unto you the different categories of the absolute truth, knowing which any person can be released from the influence of the modes of material nature. Yes. So we all want to be released from the clutches of material nature. So then hearing Sankhya is very nice for us. Prabhupada also saying the same thing, you'll see ahead. Okay, please recite this verse. Jnanam nishreya sarthaya purushah syatma darshanam yada hurvarna yetatte Hridaya Granthi Bhedanam. Somebody can read the translation? Knowledge is the ultimate perfection of self-realization. I shall explain that knowledge unto you, by which the knots of the attachment to the material world are. Okay. So the reason of the living entity going in the cycle of birth and death is that knot of attachment which is there in the heart. Hridaya Granthi Bhedanam. So this knowledge is very important for us to know that by which this knot can be cut. So Prabhupada's purport is also compared as that very nice sword which can cut this Hridaya Granthi. All the Prabhupada purport are wonderful, and that's why we will take shelter of Prabhupada's purport. And Prabhupada is saying in the purport that the object of devotional service is, any guess? Who is our object of devotional service? For whom we are performing devotional service? Krishna. Okay, so devotional service is already glorified in the previous chapter, already being glorified. So here, Prabhupada, in the beginning of the 26th chapter, in the purport, he is writing what is going to be discussed, and to understand Krishna means to understand Krishna in his personal form. Prabhupada is writing, and with Krishna's personal form and with his four aspects: internal energy, external energy, expansions, and incarnations. So Prabhupada was very particular about it, that he always wanted to glorify Krishna's personal form. There was an instance when there was a Pandal program going on somewhere in India, and the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, it was 1970s when the young disciples, foreigner disciples were there. And then there were this was a religious summit, and there were sadhu, sannyasis, monks from different sects. And then Prabhupada was sitting there, and one sadhu was speaking. So everybody was sitting quite nicely hearing it. And Prabhupada immediately he became very angry, and he said angrily, stop him, to his disciples. So all the disciples were baffled what to do. They were seeing each other's face, because it's such a situation. So many people are there, thousands of people listening. So then Prabhupada said, start kirtan. And then immediately Prabhupada disciples started kirtan. So then that sadhu had to stop his speech. And then later on, Prabhupada said to them that actually this sadhu, he was preaching Mayavad philosophy, impersonal philosophy. So he said first he was glorifying the demigod. Till that point time it was good. But then he said that God has no form. And then from a light, every incarnations are coming. So at that point, Prabhupada became angry. So can anyone tell what was the reason of Prabhupada being angry? Okay, in general, we become angry when, why Prabhupada became angry to such extent that he told disciples to stop the lecture. Yes. And uh, one more conclusion that we have got from the senior disciples of Prabhupada, that Prabhupada was a premi bhakta. Prabhupada was always on the level of prema. And if you love someone and somebody somebody abuse your loved one, then you will be not happy with that. So Prabhupada loved Krishna, and saying that Krishna does not has any form is like, it's like calling bad name, abusing the Lord. So then Prabhupada's anger was justified. So Prabhupada, that's why he always wanted us to understand about all the aspects of Krishna, and that is why the 10th canto is coming. Krishna's leelas are coming in the 10th canto, and before that there are all the different aspects of Krishna, his energies and creation. Again and again, second canto also, the whole creation is given. Then again here also. So Prabhupada is saying Sankhya philosophy is especially meant for persons who are conditioned by this material world. Somebody can read the second paragraph. Yes. So this is not a very encouraging statement. As long as one have even a slight desire to enjoy or laudate over material nature, there is no chance of his being freed from. So when I was preparing the lecture, I saw this and I became very depressed at that time. Oh, there is no chance for me to go. यहाँ पे लिखा even a slight desire, but here so many desires there. So then what can be done? But there is hope. There is hope. So we have to see that still after joining Krishna consciousness, somehow or other we are there with the devotees. We are in the association. We are coming for the lectures. We are following, trying to apply at least. So there is something in our life in bhakti which is giving us hope, which is inspiring us. So I want all of you to remember something which inspires you the most in your bhakti, in your devotional life. Everybody may have, it may be different things for everyone. So you all may think and speak about it because we will discuss about Sankhya and all the 24 elements and all. But ultimately, if you see the last line Prabhupada is writing in the 26th chapter, is that devotional service is the essence that we can take from this Sankhya Yoga. The whole chapter 26, there are 72 verses. So the essence of all these 72 verses is to establish the supremacy of devotional service. So we are also doing performing devotional service, right? Everyone. So what aspect of bhakti in your present time in your bhakti inspires you the most or makes you feel alive in bhakti? Anyone like to share? Yes. Hearing. Yes. Yes. Okay, very nice. So you look forward for hearing more. That's a very good quality actually. We all should hanker for such quality. I still in my spiritual life still not have that much hankering for hearing, especially after having good prasadam. It's difficult to sit and hear. What to speak about reading? Reading sometimes devotee use for sleeping also. सब बहुत ज़्यादा अगर philosophical purport है, so then it's difficult. Yes, that's a conditioned stage of life. Yeah, anyone else? Yes, Prabhuji. So by reading Prabhupada's book, we immediately come to the absolute truth, to the platform of absolute truth, and we forget our material miseries. Whatever. Yeah, very nice. So Narottam Prabhuji always tell everyone to do this exercise of free writing, which is very good. Even Prabhupada also said that all these disciples to make notes and keep journals. So when you go from here, means like why this important exercise is important, because there is something in devotional our devotional life which is impelling us or inspiring us to continue our devotional service. And it may be different for everyone. So we were like when we were in Govardhan few days back and we were having this exercise, so there are group of 5 6 devotees and everyone wrote different point. Some devotee wrote that Prabhupada's struggle when Prabhupada went to America, so his struggle that he went through, it inspires him the most. Somebody wrote prasadam, inspires him to come in bhakti. Somebody wrote kirtan, somebody wrote different things. So and you can go in then in a more personal way. It's like you know what yourself, what you are doing in bhakti and what is there, so you can write it down very nicely and then you can look after it whenever there are some period when you are looking feeling a little morose or a little hopeless, so then you can look after that part that inspires you the most. Okay. So we'll go ahead. Next verse. This is a very nice verse. Please recite. Anadiratma purusho निर्गुणः प्रकृतेः परः प्रत्यागधाम स्वयं ज्योतिर् विश्वं येन समन्वितम्. You see the translation? Okay, so Kapil Muni is saying to Mother Devhuti about himself, and he's saying Anadir, means there is no beginning, and Atma Purusho, who has no beginning, Supreme Soul, is Nirguna, transcendental to the material mode. Prakrate Para. Prakrate Para means transcendental to the Prakriti. And Pratyag Dhama Swayam Jyotir means Lord Krishna's abode Golok Dham is illuminated by the bodily effulgence of Lord Krishna. There is no need of sun and moon there. Which verse is that? Suryo na shashanko na pavana. So Prabhupada very nicely in the purport is uh, giving importance to all these different words that in the shloka Kapila Muni has used. Swayam Jyotir. Then Vishwam Yena Samanvitam. So he's present everywhere. So Prabhupada is giving the example of a cloud. So you see that some parts are in the summer season also, or in the rainy season also, when there is cloud, so that part of earth is covered with the shadow of the cloud. So those people cannot see the sun, but it does not mean that sun is not there. So we'll go to the next verse. Yeah. Kapil Muni is saying, as his pastime, that Supreme Personality of Godhead, the greatest of the great, accepted the subtle material energy which is invested with three modes of material nature and which is related with Vishnu. Okay, so here, as his pastime, this word is very, so Leela word is used there in the shloka. So we know about Krishna's pastimes, how Krishna is playing in the Vrindavan, but this is also Krishna's pastime. So creation is also Leela of Krishna. It's also one Leela. And Krishna is creating the whole material universe so that we can give a place to the rebellious living entities so that they can go there and understand the true purpose of life to cultivate, the develop relationship with Lord. And that's how he is expanding himself into Mahavishnu and then Shivodaksha Vishnu, Karanodaksha Vishnu, and then Garudaksha Vishnu, Shivodaksha Vishnu. And in this way, he's creating the whole. So this whole creation process of creation is a Leela of Krishna. And that's why Krishna accepts the subtle material energy, which is actually coming from him only, and which is invested with three modes of material nature. Okay, in the upcoming three verses, Kapila Muni says the position of the living entity. So, living entity, when sees these various forms offered by Prakriti, Jiva become bewildered by avidya. So, in the third canto, in the few second or third chapter, Prabhupada is writing that it is the purpose of the material energy. It's so wonderful that the jiva becomes totally attracted and hypnotized by the activities of the wonderful activities of the material energy. That is what is happening today. Who won the semi-final match? IPL. What is happening with Iran, Israel, and America and Dubai? So this is all very attractive. What is happening there, or who is winning the IPL? So these there are so many things. This is some examples, but we are having a tendency. So the bewildered jiva in the sixth verse, Kapil Muni says, the bewildered jiva thinks that he is the doer of activities by false identification with Prakriti, and this misconception leads to the jiva's bondage and repeated birth and death. Somebody can read this purport, Prabhupada. I'm writing. So Prabhupada is giving a big hope. Prabhupada is saying that if somebody just act on this principle of being a servant of Krishna, simply understand that his constitutional position is to serve Krishna, and somebody just try to act on this principle, then does not matter however condition he may be, influence of Maya will be immediately vanished. Okay, so then there is some problem with with this, and then we will discuss about that how the mind and the samskaras and there are different types of habits, previous habits and past samskaras. They always try to become an obstacle when we want to surrender and we want to serve Krishna fully. Okay, so before that, we will read this verse. This is the eighth verse. Karya karan kartatve karanam prakritim viduhu bhoktritve sukha dukkhanam purusham prakrite param. You see the translation? Yes. So, in the purport, Prabhupada is writing about the world of duality. So this world is full of duality because there is always some sukha, dukha, man, apman, yash, apyas going on always in the world, and the living entities is always like a in the pendulum. How the pendulum goes from this side to that side. So we are always trying to solve these problems of Maya and the mind. How the mind uh, can become a victim of Maya, or how the mind actually listens to the Maya's proposal, and then so we are all rebellious living entities, right? And there is this book by Sukhwaha Mataji, Prabhupada disciple. How many of you have attended the lecture Sukhwaha Mataji gave? Okay. Anybody remembers the name of the book? Everybody purchased, I think. Finding the Gap. Okay. So I have taken this very nice hypothetical example from that book, which we all face in our life. Actually, I face in my life, and maybe all of you also may be facing in your life. So this is a diagram. It's a hypothetical situation she has made. So she has told that uh, everybody's mind is playing tricks when we want to do some devotional service, or it's happening with me only. Okay, everyone have that problem. Okay, so you can't relate with this. So she's saying that in the mind there are two different personas. One persona is a pain persona, and second is a protection persona. So these personas, they keep playing some dialogues. That's what she's saying. So this is a hypothetical situation. This is not from something from the scriptures, but she's very nicely trying to solve the problem, or the how the mind tricks us. Mind is like a trickster, and it tricks us. So she's saying that the left side mountain is the pain persona, and right side mountain is the protection personas. Now, what this left side pain persona does? So it keep bringing the past regrets. It keep bringing some these problems. Okay, and this is one side of the mountain. Okay, and you see the jiva here is sitting in the you see this line rope there, material energies rope, and there is one rope which is dropping down. This is with the three modes. Okay. So one rope but having three modes, and it is connected with a basket there. You diagram वो clean नहीं है, but you can just imagine. So we are in that basket, and these personas are again and again pulling us towards each of them, and that's why we are like a pendulum. So what is our position? We are going towards past regret sometimes, and then protecting managers shows us future fears. Pain personas shows us self-loathing. Okay, so it helps happens with us sometimes. Oh, I am so bad, I am so fallen, कोई hope नहीं है मेरा तो भक्ति में, क्या होगा पता नहीं. So then self aggrandizing, कभी किसने तारीफ कर दिया भक्तों ने, तो then self aggrandizing, oh I am so great, yeah I can do it, and वो तो मुझसे अच्छा नहीं कर सकता कोई. So like that. Then pain persona, they keep blaming others. If we fail to do something nicely, so then blame it to other. And opposite to that is justifying and making excuses. Yeah. Then hiding. So some seva is there, or you want to you come and somebody has invited you or whatever situation, but you don't want to, you want to hide away from that situation. So that is again mind play some tricks, and somehow or other it will keep you, make you hide. And protecting managers will, mind will play some tricks, and then uh, you will be desperate to prove yourself कि मुझसे अच्छा तो ये कोई नहीं कर सकता है, तो मैं ही करूंगा. So like that. Then overthinking is a big problem in today's world. So worrying. So mind keeps playing and magnifying. Swam Kesha Samaraj का वो mind acronym याद है किसी को? M for magnify, I for imagine pleasures, N for negative, negative thinking, something like that, and D for okay, नहीं कुछ और था. तो कुछ उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा एक्रोनिम दिया है उसमें. तो दिस इज माइंड इज मैग्नीफाइंग. So mind is always magnifying small things which actually does not matter a lot in our life, but mind magnifies that. So we keep worrying and we are in the cycle. And then there is the other part is daydreaming, means imagining something that is unrealistic or like whatever. So I am an expert in daydreaming before coming to ISKCON also. So after coming to ISKCON also, I preach Donald Trump sometimes. You know, if I can preach Donald Trump and he can stop this war, so we can daydream something. But again, Prabhupada said that never be, never stay without any work. Prabhupada said you should never lie down in the bed and just thinking like that. कुछ लोग कभी कभी होते हैं ना, ऐसे लेट जाते हैं, देखते रहते हैं इधर उधर. So that is daydreaming, or we don't know what is happening in the mind, but that's there. Lamenting, and then always, instead of solving the problem, so pain persona keep lamenting, okay, playing the past again and again and again, aisa hua waisa hua, so like that. And again the second part is hankering. Protecting managers are like they keep hankering for enjoyment. So like that, rejecting, accepting, surviving, striving, resisting blames, and being attached to praises, shame. Mind keeps playing some things which we are not good at. So we don't focus on the things which are we are good at actually. So shame, pride, and then addiction, sense restriction, renunciation, sense enjoyment, so like that. So if you see this pendulum, there is a stair coming out of the basket. That is the stair, which there are three wooden blocks which are made up of guru, sadhu, and shastra. So the book's title that Subha Mataji has written is the Finding the Gap. There are two parts, part one, part two. First one is finding the gap. Second one is entering the gap. So in the second book, she's saying that what we have to do is that when the pendulum is on the both side, it will be very difficult. So like if you take a decision when you are afraid about your future, will it be a right decision? You will take a decision because you are in a mood of you are actually afraid, you are in fear, and in that, because of that fear, you will take some wrong decision. So when you are on the both side of the mountain, so like this and this, these both are not a good situation to take any decision. When you are daydreaming and you make a decision, when you are lamenting and you make a decision, so these are two situations when you are on the both side is not good. When you are straight, when you are in this position which is there now, that is a good position, she's saying. And then she's saying that we have to take shelter of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra to come out of this basket, because we are attached to this basket. So we have to come out by taking shelter of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. So Gurujan Prabhu is emphasizing one point in his Japa book, that while chanting Japa, if you have attended Gurujan Prabhu's seminar, so one point he keeps repeating. If you just hear one Hare Krishna Mahamantra starting with one Hare, so we had a good fortune to have his association few days back, and again this thing came in my mind. So he was again saying the same thing, that just listen one Mahamantra. He always say that. Don't think कि पिछला मंत्र अच्छा नहीं हुआ, पिछला round अच्छा नहीं हुआ, or don't think that so many rounds are pending. But just listen this one Mahamantra. So this is the gap that Mataji is saying to enter, and this is the place. Actually, you can say this is the actually our entry to Golok Dham, this middle gap which is there, because this is the place when we are in present. So when we are in, mostly I found out that when we are reading Bhagavatam, when we are chanting nicely with focus, or when we are totally engaged in some devotional activity, that is the time when we actually really present, and we are not doing any of this. I found, because I'm very focused during this time to serve, or to to focus nicely and make notes while reading, or to hear my japa, or while kirtan we want to see the Lord. So anytime when we are totally trying to remember Krishna through these different activities, that time we are entering the gap, and that is the best time when we can actually offer good prayers to Krishna and make progress in our spiritual life. So we have to be very aware about this trickster, the mind tricks. Mind is always a trickster, always keeps playing tricks. Okay. So 3 to 8, Kapil Muni is saying about the interaction between Jiva, Prakriti, and Purusha. So Lord's interaction with Prakriti is just a pastime by his will. But when Jiva interacts with Prakriti, it leads to the bondage of Jiva. Okay, so Krishna is interacting with Prakriti. वहाँ पे कोई bondage नहीं हो रहा है. Krishna is beyond the modes of nature, and he is just doing for a leela. And we are interacting with Prakriti. We are getting in the cycle of birth and death. Okay. So now Devhuti asks a question after this. Please decide. Prakrite purushasyapi lakshanam purushottama ब्रूहि कारणयोरस्य सदसच्च यदात्मना. Is translation? And manifest creation. Okay. So Mother Devhuti is asking from Kapila Muni, Lord, about the explanation from of the characteristics of the Supreme Person and his energies. So for a woman, his husband and his son both are important. Prabhupada is writing in the purport and giving an example. For a woman, husband and son both are important. So here, Krishna is the father. Okay. Krishna is the seed-giving father, right? So the sons are the marginal energy, we, jivas. Okay. So who is the mother? Prakriti. And Devhuti, Mother Devhuti wants to know about all this, all the energies. So energies include marginal energy, external energy, internal energy, everything she wants to know. So then from 10 to 14th verse, uh, Kapila Muni speaks about the pradhana. So pradhana is the aggregate elements. Pradhana is the inactive material nature. When there are all these 24 elements are there in pradhan, but they are in inactive state, they are unmanifested. They are not came into being. They are just there inside it. And then there are different characteristics of pradhana that Kapil Muni is speaking. So again, reason for reading all this is to understand for us to that how Krishna is so amazing, so glorious, how magnanimous he is, and these are 5 gross elements. The 12th verse: earth, water, fire, air, ether. 5 subtle elements. All these things given from the 11 to 14th verse. These are the 24 elements. For those of you who are new in the class, 24 elements, gross elements, 5 gross elements, 5 knowledge acquiring senses, 5 working senses, and mind, intelligence, false ego, and then object of the senses. Those are 24 elements. Okay, so from 11 to 14, this Kapil Muni is describing about these naming. He's just naming what are the 24 elements. How many of you remember the 24 elements? Okay, it's very easy actually. क्लास में हम लोग जब याद करते थे कोई फॉर्मूला तो हम लोग उसके लिए कितना प्रिपरेशन करते थे. Remember? Anybody remember periodic table? So we have this all this we have studied. कोई है बायोलॉजी से ये सब पढ़ा है कैसे ब्लड सेल्स बनते हैं, रेड ब्लड सेल्स बनते हैं, हाउ a seed gives birth to a plant, what is a water cycle. This is all Krishna's creation and it's all amazing. Scientists are trying to replicate it, and Prabhupada is uh, you know writing his purpose many times that scientists are just trying to replicate. But you just remember when you were studying all these subjects how much we were focused because we wanted to get good marks in the exam. And we were making notes, and we were, whatever was possible, we were doing. So when it's about the process of creation, periodic table में कितने एलिमेंट होते हैं? किसी को याद है अभी? कोई है अभी भी जो पढ़ाई कर रहा है? क्योंकि अभी तो कुछ यूज में आ रहा नहीं है, वो पाइथागोरस प्रमेय एंड ऑल दैट. But we all studied that, and here we are seeing that 24 elements we are not able to remember. So please, we are doing it for Krishna, to this is not something like कुछ mark मिलने वाला है. Okay, also we also have to appear in an exam, the most important exam. सब लोग IAS का प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं, और क्या कौन सी JEE और बहुत सारे एग्जाम्स होती हैं. We are preparing an exam which start with word D. Okay, so in this world, death can come at any time. People were thinking, oh, Dubai is such an amazing place, wonderful place, and come for a tourist. The whole social media, they were glorifying Dubai as a most safest place, and come here, invest. And what happened to that safest place now? So nobody can say that I am safe here. People are thinking that we will third world war हो जाएगा अगर, तो bunker वंकर खोद के वहाँ safe हो जाएंगे. You are safe nowhere. If Krishna wants to kill, he can kill anywhere. So better to take shelter of Krishna then. So devotees are intelligent. We are actually at the perfect place, because under the shelter of Krishna we will be safe anywhere. Mare Krishna rakhe Krishna mare. Okay, so for that Supreme Lord we can remember this. It's not that difficult. Okay, so पांच gross element तो सबको पता होंगे. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. Knowledge acquiring senses भी सबको पता ही होंगे. Eyes, ear, nose, tongue and skin. Now working senses, it's very easy. Vocal, uh, the capability to speak, then legs, hands, evacuating organ and reproductive organ. These are the five working senses. Okay, so this brings us to 15, and then there are objects of the senses. So smell, touch, uh, taste, sound, and sight. Yeah, form. Okay, these are 20, and then mind, intelligence, and also. So we can remember all this because we can actually thank Krishna. This is all coming from Mahat Tattva, and Mahat Tattva Pradhan. Actually, Pradhan आगे महत तत्व बनता है. So Pradhan is, what is Pradhan? Pradhan is actually coming out from the Brahma Jyoti. And Brahma Jyoti is Krishna's effulgence. So these elements are actually coming out from Krishna. Okay. So how many times we have used the sense of taste? So you can thank Krishna for those thousands of rasgullas, gulab jamun, samosa, pizza. Thousands of times we have tasted that, and we have never thanked Krishna. And we अभी भी class के बाद में हम लोग लेंगे प्रसाद. So Krishna has given us that pleasure, that capacity to take that pleasure. So many such things are there, and we can remember Krishna by using these 24 elements. So that's why we can remember this. Okay, so now going ahead, Kapila Muni describes how Lord Mahavishnu, Karmadakshaya Vishnu, glances over at the Pradhana, which is the unmanifest material nature, and then he invests the Kala Shakti, time. And along with that, he also glances the living entities. So, living entities, अपने पिछले जन्म के कई कर्मों के साथ में और अपने स्वभाव के साथ में, नेचर के साथ में, अनमैनिफेस्टेड स्टेज में कृष्ण के, महाविष्णु के अंदर रहती है. एंड व्हेन महाविष्णु ग्लांसेस एट प्रधाना, देन it become again impregnated by the glance of the महाविष्णु. एंड टाइम के बारे में स्पेशली 3 वर्सेस में बता रहे हैं. सो कपिल मुनि इज सेइंग दैट टाइम इज द 25th एलिमेंट. हम लोगों ने 24th एलिमेंट देखा. टाइम इज द 25th एलिमेंट एंड इज द इंस्टिगेटर ऑफ फियर ऑफ डेथ इन द कंडीशन जीवस. टाइम की वजह से सब लोग डरते हैं. टाइम बढ़ेगा तो we will become old, and then we will have to walk by a stick, and we will die one day. Agitator of gunas in prakriti that leads to material creation. ये 3 वर्सेस में बता रहे हैं टाइम के बारे में. Lord exists internally as Paramatma and externally as time. Okay, so before going ahead, coming back here in the 24 elements. So Gurujan Prabhuji said us that when you wake up in the morning every day, remember three things. which you are grateful for in life. 3 things. Anyone want to share anything now that they are grateful for in life? It may be anything. Yes, Mataji, you want to share? Oh, yeah. Yes, yes. And soul never dies. So, yes, we are alive. 2026 going on. We are good, having health, good, good. And then, we are in the association of devotees. So, there is a great chance that we can go back to the spiritual world. So, there are so many things. Anything else? Remembrance of Krishna. So, we can go in flashback in our life and we can see that some things that Krishna gave us in our life, and we are really grateful for that. So Gurujan Prabhu always asks for us, like, so when we ask a question, the immediate response is all these things. I want Krishna Prem, Anartha Nivriti, I want to become pure devotee. This is all the first response. Then he asks, what do you really want? Okay, ये तो हो गया एक first, जो हमारे mind में था. But then you go deeper, contemplate on it. So what happened in your life actually, which actually gave you so much benefit in your life, and you got saved from a situation, something. So like that we can think when we wake up in the morning. Okay, so then after time, Kapil Muni speaks about Mahat Tattva. So when the Pradhana gets agitated, it becomes Mahat Tattva. It transform Mahat Pradhan becomes transformed into Mahat Tattva. Okay, and then Mahat Tattva gives birth to 24 elements. Okay. So now each and every element Kapil Muni is explaining here. Now we don't give importance to all this process. Now you can imagine Krishna is arranging all this for us. 22nd में वर्स में कपिल मुनि बताते हैं चित्त के बारे में. रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ महत तत्व इन द बॉडी ऑफ द जीवा is chitta, and complete serenity and clarity and freedom from distraction is there in chitta. Chitta become manifested from the mahat tattva first, and then becomes manifested the ahankara, false ego. Mahat tattva, so ahankar is important because ahankar is giving birth to in good mode of goodness and in mode of passion and mode of ignorance. He's interacting with the mahat tattva and giving birth to so many things, mind, 10 senses, tattvas, all these different tattvas. So that's why false ego is there. But we have to purify the false ego. So presiding deity of Mahatattva is Sankarshan, and characteristics of Ahankara is that when the Jiva, because the body is made up of 5 elements, so and we have a tendency to identify, subtle body is made up of mind, intelligence, false ego. So we have a tendency to identify ourselves with the body. But this false ego is there because it's a mechanism of the hardware and software. So that's why to interact with the world, false ego is required. But we have to purify that, and that we can do by the help of mind and intelligence. So 27, 28, Kapil Muni is saying about the uh, appearance of false ego. So false ego appears in sattva. Characteristic is thought and reflections of mind, gives rise to desire. Okay, so mind always keeps thinking, do this, do that, do this, do that, and keep reflecting. And presiding deity is Aniruddha. So false ego interact with sattva and gives birth to mind. And then buddhi is the interaction of false ego and rajoguna. Okay. Then it helps in ascertaining the nature of object, dravya, spurna, vijnanam. So it helps to the senses and it helps to doubt and misapprehension and correct apprehension. So intelligence actually in a way controls the mind if we are taking help of scriptures, and intelligence decides what is right, what is wrong. Mind in itself does not decide what is wrong and what is right. So if the intelligence is not strong, that mind can actually take us in the wrong place. And then 31st is the verse is the Indriya, appears from false ego in Rajas. So 5 types of knowledge acquiring senses and 5 types of working senses. And then there are tan matras, one after another. So all these gross elements and object of the senses from one after another. So from the sound comes the ether, tan matras of ether, sound is tan matra of ether. And then comes the air, and tan matra of air is touch. Okay. Then comes fire, and then fire, as soon as fire comes, there is a form, visible form. Because air में कोई form नहीं होता है, but as soon as fire comes in existence, there is a form. And then there is a creation of water. And then as soon as water comes, there is a taste. And then and earth comes. And then when the earth comes, there is a smell also. So this is the whole cycle. Sound to ether, to touch, to air, to form. This is given in Bhagavatam very nicely. Okay, this all Krishna is doing just to give us the rebellious living entities who wanted to enjoy separately from the Lord. This is all an arrangement of the Lord. Okay, so what is our position? Our position is the material world is often compared to the place of misery. And why Durga's name is Durga? Durga means fort. Yeah. So fort and a prison. So prison बोलते हैं. So our position here is a position of prisoners. This is all of us here inside the prison house of the material world. Okay. This is our position. We forget it many times, but we are all prison mates. हम लोग सब एक जेल में हैं. And I got this from the last chapter, the last session. Nitai Prabhuji was speaking about this. That in the prison, everybody get a different uniform. Everybody gets a different uniform. So our different uniform is this 2 skin, this material body that we have got. So every living entity has got a different uniform. Okay, and we have a human uniform. And they have different uniform. They have cow uniform, hen uniform, cat uniform, fish uniform. And what is happening in the after coming into the prison house, we have some facilities here so that we can actually live, we can stay alive. Okay. And whenever you go to prison, कभी कोई गया है prison कभी? Okay, very nice. जाना भी नहीं है, but देखा तो है prison के बारे में, सुना है कि prison में थोड़ा facility होता है. Facility क्या होता है? थोड़ा बहुत when you do some work there, you get some money. And if you are behaving very nicely in the prison, then the jailer will give you some थोड़ा आपको 2 रोटी ज़्यादा या फिर न्यूज़पेपर मिल जाएगा आपको, कॉफी मिल जाएगा. All these facilities are there. So we also get some facilities and we become very happy, very happy. Okay, so this prisoner, this is our position. We become very happy. Oh, ऐसा मिल रहा है जेल में. So this is our position. And Krishna is arranging the whole cosmic manifestation so that we can come out of this prison house. And we are trying to make a whole next life का पूरा planning करके बैठे हुए हैं. ऐसे होता है living entities के साथ में. If they are not aware about the spiritual knowledge especially. And there is a big trouble now, big obstacle in spiritual life. We all know about that, and we all carrying that in our pocket. So that is the biggest obstacle in our spiritual life right now, which is a weapon of mass distractions. Gurujan Prabhu was telling about this. His assistant was there, Raj Bihari Prabhu was telling about this, and he was giving so much emphasis to this that we should be very aware about this dangerous thing that we are carrying with us. So this is a new cover of the mobile. कौन से मॉडल का है वो नहीं पता, बट उसमें लिखा हुआ है वेपन ऑफ मास डिस्ट्री. अमेजोन पे मिल रहा है, अमेजोन पे मिल रहा है, ये आप लोग ले सकते हैं. स्क्रोलिंग किल्स. Okay, so इतना कुछ अरेंजमेंट कृष्ण कर रहे हैं सारा, and then he is trying to tell us that come out of this material world so that we can go back in the spiritual world and enjoy with him. And we should think about it, how we can help each other as a prison mates and discuss about Krishna more and more, how we can bring Krishna in our life even while interacting. Okay, so going ahead, 50 to 53, Krishna, Lord Kapila speaks about the how then Krishna, actually Lord Mahavishnu, when all the elements were unmixed, then Supreme Lord enters the universe along with Kala, Karma and Gunas. Lord himself enters these eggs. These eggs are the different universes. And when those elements rose into activity and united by the presence of the Lord, an unintelligent egg arose from which appeared the Virat. So in a way, the theory of Big Bang is not wrong. How? Because they're also saying that at one moment there was a blast happened, and then the creation came into being. So they are not aware about that there are so many universes coming out from the bodily pores of Vishnu. So their conclusion may be right. And I saw a documentary also where they were saying that the universe is expanding, and they are saying that all these great scientists of NASA, with the help of their great telescopes, they are saying that at one point these universes, all the big gigantic galaxies which are going apart from each other, at one point they will stop and they will come back closer to each other. So that's what they are making out through their research. So then we know that how Mahavishnu exhales and then inhales again. So when he exhales, the whole creation come into being, and when he inhales, the whole creation again goes into Mahavishnu. So this is how we understand in Andilanjana. And then within this universal egg is the universal form, which is covered outside by 7 layers. And then each outside layer is 10 times thicker than the previous layer. And then final outside layer is covered by Pradhan. Okay. Now, this is not Garbhodakshay Vishnu Kapil Dev is speaking about. Kapil Dev is speaking about the Virat Purusha. Virat Purusha. So the next few verses are about the Virat Purusha. And this is a painting that I've got from one of the PDF uploaded by Radhesham Prabhuji. And you will be amazed to know that in the Jain religion also there is description about this Virat Purusha. And they have made paintings about this. These are the paintings found in the Jain scriptures, and they are different manuscripts or on the walls of the temples. So this is all different Virat Purushas. You can see here the planetary system, starting from the feet, going to the navel, and then up head till the head. So then Virat Purusha enters, and then there are different demigods for each senses. So for the mouth, there is fire god, Agni. Then for the nostrils, there are wind god. For the eyes, there is sun god, Surya. Then for the ears, there is Dikpals. For the skin, there is the deities of the skin. Ka naam hai Ashodhya. So like that, for each senses, there are different demigods, and they all are there present in the universe. But the Virat Purusha is still not awake, he's sleeping. And it is described by Kapil Dev going ahead that all these demigods of different senses, they try to go in the different senses. So fire god go in the sense of Virat Purusha, who is Krishna himself actually. And then he's trying to awaken him, but he does not become awake. So all the demigods try one after another, but everybody fails. And then finally, the demigod of the Chitta, he enters into the consciousness of the Virat Purusha. यहाँ पे सबसे लास्ट में देखिए consciousness लिखा है चित्त. Then when he enters, then the Virat Purusha awakens himself. Okay. So all these senses that we are enjoying, or till since our childhood, actually this is a credit goes to Krishna. He is giving us the power to enjoy. Because of him, we are able to relish. So that's why we should be very, very grateful to Krishna. And then coming to the conclusion, Prabhupada is writing in the last verse of the 7. So 26th chapter, somebody can read loudly.
One can realize the super soul within oneself. He is within one's body, but apart from the body or transcendental to the body. Although sitting in the same body as the individual soul, the super soul has no affection for the body, whereas the individual soul does. Therefore, one has to detach himself from this material body by discharging devotional service.
Okay. So Kapil Dev is saying in the last verse that the purpose of Sankhya is to meditate on the super soul. Meditate on the super soul. Prabhupada is also writing, the purpose of Sankhya is to detach oneself from material contamination. This can be achieved simply by devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So many things are there, and all these things were difficult to remember for us. It's nice if we remember, but still, if we do devotional service, Prabhupada says that those who will do book distribution, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will personally come and take them back home, back to Godhead. And Prabhupada also said that I will give backdoor entry. If you follow 4 principles, chant 16 rounds, don't worry. So we have seen such, we have this, heard about these stories. Like there was one disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and he was not able to continue in spiritual life, and he went with the away from the devotional life, and then he started doing some sinful activities as well. So, but when he died and he appeared in front of Yamraj, this is true story, and Yamraj was seeing his account and पूरा देखा सब क्या क्या किया है, and then in the end कि पूछा चित्रगुप्त से कुछ अच्छा किया है क्या, so उन्होंने बताया कि he has taken initiation from Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and as soon as Yamaraj heard the name Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he immediately closed his eyes and offered prayers to Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, and immediately Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj appeared there in Yamloka, and he chastised his disciple, अरे क्यों भक्ति छोड़ दिया, क्यों छोड़ दिया डिवोशनल लाइफ, क्यों जपा छोड़ दिया, go back now and continue your bhakti and complete your bhakti and go back to spiritual world. Like that he appeared and disappeared from there, and this Prabhu, he again came back in his body, and this is true incident, and then uh, he was able to remember it, क्या हुआ यमलोक में, so then he was very fixed up. There is one more story which I remember uh, to get to stay inspired in book distribution. So there was one Mataji, her name was Radha Kund Devi Dasi, and anybody knows the story? So she was doing very nice book distribution in Vrindavan. But what happened that she started going, she was visiting with Radha Kund sometime. So there was one Babaji there, and he was giving nice pravachan, and she sat and heard it. Slowly she got a taste for hearing, and then she started staying in Radha Kund, and she stopped book distribution. And this is after Prabhupada left his body, Prabhupada disappeared. So then she was actually very attached to Radha Kund. Then one day in her dream, Prabhupada came, and actually she was in the Radha Kund. And you know that at the center of the Radha Kund, which kund is there? Kankan Kund. So Prabhupada was there in the middle of the Kankan Kund, and there was a big table there, and there were thousands and thousands of living entities, humans. They were all trying to grab books from Prabhupada. And Prabhupada from the table, having a big stock of the books, giving it to everyone. And then she saw Prabhupada, and Prabhupada saw her. And Prabhupada was having a look at his face, and Prabhupada was like chastising him through his eyes. Ki, "Arey, now you get it. What is actually Radha Kund? What is the heart of Radha Kund? What is the heart of Radharani? So the heart of Radharani is to serve Krishna, to bring those lost souls who are away from Krishna, and they are away from spiritual life. So then she got this realization that I should go back to the book distribution, and she continued the book distribution. So this is one story, but there are so many devotional services. We all know these 9 limbs of devotional services that we can do, and that's how we can actually uh, fulfill the purpose of life. So somebody can read the second paragraph, as long as yes. So there are different ways of distraction from different offers from the Maya to get distracted, and we all can think about it. We had an association with His Holiness Jai Advait Swami Maharaj, and he said one thing that so sometimes we have propensity to contemplate also कि अगर ऐसा कर ले तो कैसा होगा, like Madhavendra Puri, he just for a moment thought कि मैं एक खीर ले लेता हूँ और टेस्ट कर लेता हूँ. It was not for his own sense gratification. He was trying to do that for Krishna, so that he can understand the recipe, and but he felt very bad. So maybe because of the we are conditioned soul, we are all in the prison, and because of our previous habits, we might contemplate. So we have to stop that contemplation immediately. So Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj is saying that contemplating on sense gratification, thinking is like drinking water underwater on a fasting day. Drinking water underwater on a fasting day, because you are inside the water, nobody is seeing you. You can drink water. You are fasting. Everybody is fasting on that day. Nirjala Ekadashi ka din hai. But you are drinking water underwater on a fasting day. So it's actually wrong. Super soul is watching everything. So it's a nice thing to contemplate. The perfection of the Sankhya Yoga. This is the last sentence of the 70 second verse, last verse of 26th chapter. The perfection of this Sankhya Yoga culminates in devotional service unto the absolute truth. Okay. So we all can offer something to the Lord uh, through our meditation also, and whatever best jewelry you have seen, whatever best dress you have seen, and you can imagine Radha Ras Bihari, you can imagine Radha Madhav with the best type of dress you can make in your mind and offer, and you can go inside the altar also in the meditation. In the meditation, we can do that. So, Bhujan Prabhu, his assistant Braj Bihari Prabhu was saying that if by doing that meditation also, Mansik Seva, we get the result of doing a physical seva, the actual seva. So we can do all these things to uh, advance in Krishna consciousness. Anybody has any question, please let me know. I'll try to answer that. So this topic is very, very, very exalted, transcendental topic, and I am not qualified, but Narottam Prabhuji, being compassionate upon me, gave me an opportunity because this is how I was able to read that book. Otherwise, my third chapter का beginning चालू है अभी. तो अभी first chapter से सीधे 26 chapter पे jump करवा दिया प्रभुजी ने. So yes, please, I'll try to answer the question. Please forgive me for any mistake. Give me correction after the class. Or you can correct now also so that everybody can listen. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Humility, wonderful class. And you
It's
are taking
overacting.
words. But I was just trying to understand that as there was also mentioning that we are contemplating and this contemplation will not stop by our own. We will take devotional service in focus and the power as one of the devotee I was listening to, he was mentioning that we cannot control our mind or other things as Srimad Bhagavatam he was mentioning that we cannot control our mind because mind is the energy of God. So when this contemplation comes, this is also like the creation of that mind only. So can you just put some perspective what we can do at our side or, so that this contemplation doesn't come?
So we can apply the principle of Yukta Vairagya, how everything is energy of Krishna and everything can be engaged in the service of Krishna. So you're contemplating about eating something. So make something for Krishna, for his pleasure. And keep that mood that I'm doing for Krishna's pleasure. And then you can also eat it later on. And then uh, remaining busy in the service of the Lord is the best way to, not being a victim, to be saved from the being a victim of Maya or these contemplations. These contemplations will be there because there are modes of nature acting on our mind always. So that's why we have a Sitaram Prabhuji always tells that always remain busy. There is so much of service there. We are swimming in the ocean of services. There are so many services manifesting also in the future for all of us. So we are all praying for services for the Hare Krishna Mahamantra chanting also. So, so much services we should have, and we should be prepared for giving lectures, for preaching, book distribution also. So this is engagement will keep us safe. We can make spiritual goals. So all this engagement will keep Maya away. So engagement in spiritual activities, devotional service is the best way to stop the contemplation. Because when you are busy in service, then there is no thought. When we are in Vrindavan, imagine just remember those 8-10 days when we are in Vrindavan. Do you ever think about we don't think. All of us are totally in bliss for those 8-10 days. So like that, after coming to Mumbai, so some spiritual goals we try to fulfill, complete. So we know that the spiritual world, this material world is a place of visit dukhalam ashashvatam. Four problems of life: birth, death, old age, disease, going in a cycle of birth and death. And then Krishna is coming there to take the jiva out of this bhavsagara, and he has sent a boat of ISKCON so that we can come. So हम लोग अभी boat पे चढ़ चुके हैं. We are there on the boat, and Krishna wants us to cooperate with each other. It's Krishna's desire that we should meet together and cooperate for the cause of Krishna consciousness movement, which is so badly needed throughout the world. Okay, तो boat में सब तरह के लोग हैं, and there might be some friction sometimes, but we just have to contemplate on this fact that somehow that we have to be on the boat, and everyone is needed in the boat, and everyone is welcome on the boat. Everyone is suffering. Everyone was suffering, and somehow or other they have came in the association, the sangha. So then cooperation, with cooperation, we can achieve great things. Hare Krishna. So we'll sing a bhajan now. Okay. This is a very nice bhajan, Guliya Tumare by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So lyrics are like that. It's a bhajan by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. भूलिया तुम्हारे संसार आसिया, क्योंकि आज का पूरा सेशन उसी के ऊपर था. संसार में जीव आ जाता है, पूरा भगवान बना रहे हैं. Okay, so oh Lord, having forgotten you and come to this material world, आप भूल के मैं संसार में आ गया हूँ. पेये नाना विध व्यथा, I have when I experienced the host of sins and sorrows. तुम्हारे चरणे आसिया चियामी, now I approach your lotus feet. बोली वो दुखेर कथा and submit my tale of woe. Okay, so this is a song of a living entity who has realized now the absolute truth, who has realized the purpose of life, and he is praying to the Lord. Janani jathare chilam jakhona, while in the confines of my mother's womb, Vishama bandhana pashe, where I was bound up tightly in unbearable pain. Ek bara Prabhu dekha diya more, you once appeared briefly before me, O Lord. So it is said in the scriptures that when the living entity takes birth, comes in the womb of the mother, Lord give him darshan, and then he prays to the Lord कि अभी बस ये last है, अभी निकलते ही मैं आपकी भक्ति में जुड़ जाऊंगा, से देख लो. But then you vanish again. Vanchile e dine dasa, leaving behind this poor servant of yours. Takhona bhavinu janam apaya. At that moment I thought, after my birth this time, Koriba bhajana tava, I will surely worship you with undivided attention. Janama hoilo odi maya jale. But alas, after taking birth, I fell into the entangling network of worldly illusions. Na hoilo janana love. Jnana, na hoilo jnana love. Thus I possess not even a drop of true knowledge. Adarera chele swajanera kole. As a dear son fondled in the laps of attentive relatives. Hasiya katanu kala. I pass my time smiling and laughing. Janaka janani snehite bhuliya. The affection of my father and mother helped me forget you still more. तो वैलेंटाइन डे पे बहुत लोगों ने हेल्प किया एक दूसरे को कृष्णा को भूलने के लिए. संसार लागिलो भालो, and I felt that this material world was a very nice place. Krame dina dina balak hoiya. Day by day I gradually grew into a young boy. This I can relate. मैं भी इस एज में फुटबॉल ही खेल रहा था. सब लोग को आ रहा है कुछ माइंड में क्या कर रहे थे हम. And खेलिनु बालक सहा, and began playing with other boys. Ara kichu dine jnana upajilo. Soon my powers of understanding emerged. Patha padi aharahu. So I diligently studied my school lessons every day. Vidyara gaurave bhrami deshe deshe. Proud of my accomplished education, I traveled from place to place. Dhana uparjana kori. I earned much wealth. Swajana palana kori ekamane. Bhulinu tomare hari. I maintained my family with due attention, but I forgot you, O Lord Hari. Bardha ke ekhona bhakti vinoda. Now in old age, this bhakti vinod. Kandiya katara ati. Sadly weeps as death approaches. Nabhajiya tore dina bratha gelo. I failed to worship you, O Lord, and instead passed my days in vain. Ekhona ki habe gati. What will be my fate now? It's a very contemplative bhajan, and we can sing. Bhuliya tomare samsare asiya pena na vidha vyatha. তোমারা চরণে আসিয়াছি আমি বলিব দুঃখের কথা। জ্ঞানে জঠা জানানে জঠরে চিলমা যাকো না বিষমা বন্ধন পাশে। एक बार प्रभु दिखा दिया मोरे वांछिलाए दीन दासे। भूलिया तुम्हारे संसारे आसिया ये नाना भेद व्यथा। ताको ना भाविनु ज्ञान पाइया होरी गो भजन तवा। जन्म होइलो थोड़ी माया जाले ना होइलो ज्ञान नवा। भूलिया तुम्हारे संसारे आसिया बिना ना भेद व्यथा। आदरे राचेले स्वजने राकोले आसिया काटानु काला। जनक जननी स्नेह ते भूलिया संसार लागिलो भालो। क्रमे दीन दीन बालक होइया खेलुनु बालक सहारा। आर किछु दिने ज्ञान उपाजिलो पाठ पढ़िया हरा। विद्यारा गौरवे भ्रमी देशे देशे धन उपार्जन कोरी। अधके एको ना भक्ति विनोद कैडिया कातराती भजिया तोरे बिना व्रथा गेलो एको ना की हवे गति बोलिया तुम्हारे संसारे आसिया बिना ना विभवता तुम्हारा चरणे आसिया छिया बोली गो दुखेरा कथा तुम्हारा चरणे आसिया छिया बोली गो दुखेरा कथा बोलिया तुम्हारे संसारे आसिया बिना ना विधा व्यथा Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Rama, Rama Rama, महाराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, एकदम हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की, समवेत भक्त वृंद की।